The aim of our project is to build a simple library management application and to implement various security controls on the application. So we built a computerized system to maintain and perform the daily work of the library. There'll be two users using the system. One is the admin user and the other is the student user. They'll have separate login screens to log into the application. This is done to secure the admin access into the system and to separate the functions of the admin and the student users. The security controls that we have implemented is cross-origin resource sharing, session management, SHA 512 hashing for the password stored in the database, PHP hardening techniques, SSL certificate, validating the inputs, preventing SQL injection, and password policy. So this is the use case and the abuse case for the admin functions in the system. Now, an admin can add, delete, or edit the authors in the system. The admin can also add, delete, or edit the books in the system. The admin can also issue a particular book to a student who wishes to borrow it. They can also return a book from the student to the library as well. And if there's any fines or dues that the student has to pay, that will be displayed to the admin screen. Also, the potential attacks that an attacker can perform on these functions or pages are SQL injection to gain access or gain information about the database, brute force to log into the system, session hijacking or cross-site scripting to gain info about the session between a legitimate client and the web application, as well as CSRF to execute certain functions or malicious code on the system through a legitimate user. An attacker can also steal private data using man-in-the-middle attack or eavesdropping. Similar to the admin user, this is the use case and abuse case for the student user. Now, student can perform profile management on their own profile, that is, edit the details like their name or email address or phone number. They can access the user dashboard to see the number of books that have been listed in the system and the number of books that they have borrowed. They can also check the listing or the details of the books, and they can also check the details of the books that they have borrowed or issued. Now, the potential attacks that an attacker can perform in this scenario is SQL injection, brute force, session hijacking, CSRF, and man-in-the-middle attack or eavesdropping. This is the misuse case diagram for the admin user. Now, an admin can potentially steal the database backup from the database and sell the information out, make money out of it. They can similarly steal information about the users that are using the system and also steal credentials of the users using the system.
This is our architecture where you can see two separate login pages for the user and the admin. We have used Apache server to host the website, and MySQL has been used as database in the backend. We have followed four security principles. The first one, least privilege, where we use two user privilege, that is admin and the user. Secure defaults, where we implemented the security feature from the day one of our development phase. As per the principle of security by obscurity, we used password complexity and password hashing. As per don't trust external principle, we followed PHP hardening method in case if the data gets leaked. As per the table here, all these 6 attacks are actually the major cyber attacks. Hence, according to these attacks, we have implemented the security features in our website. To avoid SQL injection and XSS attack, we have implemented CORS and input validation. Implementing CORS also avoids the CSRF attack. To prevent brute force attack, we have used CAPTCHA, password complexity, and password hashing. Session ID and session timed out has been utilized for session hijacking. SSL also has been implemented in our local host server. We had actually implemented SSL to prevent the man-in-the-middle attack. We have successfully implemented SSL, PHP hardening, password policy, SHA-512 for hashing the password, input validation, CAPTCHA, cookie, and CORS. The only thing that we want to improve the security of this website, I think it would be adding multi-factor authentication. Additionally, we can also add more feature like to automate the book borrowing by using the barcode on the book. For adding more security, we can make the website page available to be used only in the university's network. Thank you.
Our application is about e-library. It's kind of library management where students can see the list of books available in the website, and then they will be able to buy or borrow the books from here. So I'll just go through with our overview of the architecture. So we have two different pages. Like for example, admin user will have a different page, and then student user will have a different page. And we have one web server and then one database. So we used HTML to describe the structure of the page, and then we used PHP server-side language, which actually helped us to add the functionality to the website. And then we also used JavaScript, so create a dynamic website, and also we used the CSS for styling. On the database side, we used SQL as a database backend. So I'll just go through. I'll just do a walkthrough on our application. So this is a page where students can log in with their email ID and password if they are already registered. If they are, if they are not actually registered, we have an option here like not registered yet. All or they can also go from here. So I'll just go through here. So if you see here, we have a lot of fields where we all the fields are mandatory here. So we need to fill here details. Like for example, I'm just giving name. So in the email field, we have actually added some validation. For example, if I'm just giving some random value, it will not accept. It says like you do not enter a valid email. So even I'm just giving at comma something, it doesn't accept. So I'll just try to do an exercise here and see if it is working. Still it says didn't actually accept. So but I'll just try to submit it if it is working. No, so it actually not allow us to register here. Let me try SQL injection. Yeah, again it says like you did not enter the valid email, but I'll just try to register. No, it says the same. So let's see if I give a proper email. Yeah, so it says like email is available for registration. So even in the password field, we have actually added some password complexity. For example, if I'm giving some different password here and different here, it says like password and confirmation field must be same, so it should not be. That is one. And then if we are actually trying this one, exercise, so it says like password must contain one of the following capital letter, number, and special character. Let me try. So now I'll just give this password like test 1 2 3 4. Maybe. And also I'll just show the database where we store the values. So if you see the user which I'm registering currently, it is not available in the database. So this is our database. The database looks like this. We have separate admin table and separate author table, books table, and then categories, and then last students. So in the students table, we have actually tested with a few IDs, and now I have registered a new email, and we'll see if it is reflecting here. Just registering. So it says like your registration is successful and your student ID is 039. I'll go back here. I'll just refresh. So I could get my name as here. And also, if you noticed, I mean, the password which I've entered here has been hashed. So we have actually used SHA-512. So let me, as discussed, I mean, as said way earlier, this has been hashed to SHA-512. And now I'll try to log in with this credentials. I'll go to student login page. I'll just try to log in with the same email ID. Yeah, so I'm able to log into this website. So here, if it says like book listed, so these are the book which has been listed, so I can actually buy this or I mean borrow this. If you see here, it says like some books as Albertine already has been issued. So for me, no books has been issued yet. I can also see profile. It says like active, and this is my student ID. And even I have an option like where I can update my mobile number or name, but I won't be able to update my email. So this is about student login and these features. So I'll just log out. Also, if you see, we have added a captcha here where this is to validate we are actually humans or robot. Sorry. So I'm just giving. I'm just giving some random numbers here. So it says like incorrect captcha. Sorry. So I'll just try with the correct captcha. And 523 5273. Yeah. So I'm able to log in. Also, we have managed this session. So for example, if I see the cookies, so this is the latest cookie, I believe, 18th December. The time is 12:26. Yeah. So 15 minutes. We have actually managed the cookies, and then if you see here, the last access is like 22:59, and the cookies will expire around 26, which is around like 5 minutes, I believe. Yeah. Also, we actually, I mean, tracking like people who are logging in, and what time and how they are, I mean, logging out. So we do have an access log for the same. I'll just show you. Yeah. So if you see here, we have access logs, which is actually capturing the user details who are getting logged in. Also, the same way we have for admin as well. Like we'll be able to track admin's log as well, like who are actually logging in, from which IP they are logging in as well. And we do had, I mean, to avoid man-in-the-middle attack and other attacks like, I mean, sniffing or something. So we have just added this HTTPS to our local host. The certificate should be here. Yeah. So if you see, we have a valid certificate, and the connection is encrypted, and it's like DLS 1.3. Added Apache and PHP hardening. So for example, we have excluded the indexes from the options in here, so which will prevent the directory listing. So for example, if I'm trying here, just removing this. So it says like you do not have permission to access this resource. If I try to see some other from here, again it says like, so if you see the folder is, so this is the folder, but we won't be able to see here. The same way we have done some of the ordering as well. So this will enable, disable the trace route. So we have added this header to prevent the clickjacking attacks. So this is the content security policy one, which we have set there. And here this is to prevent cross-site scripting. And this is the one like car shaders for access control allow origin, which allows only this. Also, we have added some other hardenings like directory listing, language setting, and other home directories. The same way we have done session management in here, php.ini. So if I have set the cookies to 1, and then to secure the cookies, we have also set it 2, and this is the lifetime of the cookie. We will be able to see these things here. Expiry date, and it is actually secured. Yeah, that's it.
So in this application, we have separate login page for admin. So admin users use credentials as username and password, whereas in students login page we use email address and password. So here we have admin credentials as admin and the respective password followed by captcha. So this allows admin user to view the summary of data in the dashboard, like list of books that have not returned, and list of registered users, list of authors, and list of categories. So user have control over all these data. So he can change these information through dashboard, like he can add the category, he can also manage the existing categories, he can edit the information which is already available, like names, and he can set status and click on update to update the records. Also, we can add informations here. You can just enter the name, set the status, and click on create to create a record. Similarly, you can do this for author books and issue books. And admin have a special control over the student account, where you can set the status of a student account, like the current status of the student account is active. If he clicks on inactive, it will block the student. So this student account, now it won't be able to access this particular application. And you can also see the details like name, student ID, and books issued to the particular student and issue dates. Also the fines incurred due to delay, something like the additional informations. And he has additional functionality to change his own password. So this is the basic functionality that admin has in this application. So let us see some of the security features of this application. So let me just open the code that we have used. So this is the source code. Currently we are in index.php. So we have implemented captcha using this piece of code. So this is a validation code.
So here is where the captcha is validated. Whereas if you go below, so this piece of code actually calls the captcha.php, which actually generates the captcha. So here the random value is generated and stored in the text variable. This particular variable is actually generated in form of image using this particular function. So this after this random value is generated in form of image, it is called in index.php, and once the user enters the captcha, it is being validated over here. So the same thing happens in admin login.php. So this is where the admin login.php page, and this is where the captcha is validated, and this is where it is being called. So we have implemented a SHA-5 tool hashing for password storage in DB. So the password stored here has a hashed value. So this is a piece of code for hashing password, and accounts are logged. Every login logs are stored in a separate file called accounts.txt. So this is a code where we log time, IP, and date. So we do that for both students and admins. So we also do input validation for all user input fields. So this is where the password and email is being validated. So only a valid email ID can be entered inside the email field, and also password is being validated. Even we have implemented password complexity over here. So user can only enter password with a length of 10, and he has to use both the alphabet in uppercase and lowercase, also numbers along with special characters. So this combination should be there in order